I'm sick of talking to people that say you always need to spend $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a bathroom renovation. Everything you can see behind me right here, I did for under $7,000, and you could potentially do it for under $5,000. Want to find out how? How convenient. I documented the whole process. Keep watching and find out exactly what I've done. So I bought this house back in October 2019 with the very specific intention of renovating it for a profit. I wanted to make sure I kept the bathroom under $17,000 or $7,000. I'm not quite sure why I just added another 10. I wanted to make sure I kept the bathroom under $7,000. And there was a few things that I needed to do really diligently to actually make sure that that was going to happen. And one of them was to really carefully control this budget. Bathrooms are one of those places where it's very easy to spend so much more than you need to. So we started by getting everything ready to demolish. The thing that I didn't realize is that all of the walls were asbestos. Now this was not something that I'd really budgeted on, and stupidly so, because the house was built in something like 1974. So realistically, I probably should have realized that there was a potential that these walls were going to be asbestos. I knew that eaves were going to be asbestos around the rest of the property. I didn't actually think of the bathroom walls, like right here, actually being made of asbestos. So anyway, I had lots and lots of different quotes on this. Now everywhere from $3,000 down to the one that I actually got to remove the asbestos for me, which was $1,500. Now this is also making sure it's all done properly. You don't just want someone to come in and dodge that up. It has to be done professionally. So they removed all of the walls and then we could start the rest of the demolition. Now I had a lot of fun actually jackhammering the tiles up on this one to begin with, because they just came up with a chisel. It was like so simple until I found out there was actually a whole nother layer of tiles underneath. These did not come up very simply. So I got one of those Ozito hammer drills. This thing was like 99 bucks as well. If you're a trader using it all the time, Hob's not gonna do the job for you. But if you're someone like me who does renovating like this, then this is something that you're gonna pull out maybe every couple of months. That was 100 bucks, very well spent. I was pretty happy with that. Now this did actually take quite a while to jackhammer up properly. One of my mates, James, come around. Actually, James came around a lot and helped out heaps, James. So big shout out, mate. Thank you so much. You're amazing for all the help you've given me on this. We started pulling up all of the tiles and actually found an ant's nest inside the hob. I still have no idea how that even worked out.
James and I just found an ant's nest behind the tiles in the bathtub.
Oh no.
Yeah, what are you doing?
We just got the bathroom ripped out and now we're looking at...
Suck your gut in and start again. You're like, yeah, we're just fucking there, yeah, oh yeah. Where are we, Todd?
We're at the latest project and we just got the bathroom all ripped out. All the walls were all asbestos, so we had to get someone to come in. Probably could have done it, like myself, but not worth the risk. Anyway, so we ended up getting this all ripped out, and now we've seen there's thuds and noggins behind here. And we knew that there was a bit of a water issue here, but James, come a little bit closer so you can actually see. So this is just like flaking apart, all of this. So we had some pretty shitty water damage going on here. So we're gonna have to replace these studs here and yeah, the base, so we can get this all looking nice and strong again, and then yeah, turn this back into a bathroom. Now, you might think differently, but personally, I actually found the jackhammer pretty fun. It's almost like pressure cleaning. There's something kind of therapeutic about looking at something that's all whole and then changing it along the way. Personally, I really enjoyed that once we actually ripped up all the tiles, because then you can also stand back and have a look. It's job well done. It's all taken care of, which was a pretty cool accomplishment. But then reality sets in. You've got dirt for a floor, which is not exactly something you're used to seeing when you're looking at a bathroom. No matter how old and tired it once was, a dirt floor is a little bit of a scary thing to look at for the first time. So I've been hammering for a while, and the bathroom floor is finally up. Look at that. So after all the tiles were pulled up, then we pulled out the ceiling, which that actually wasn't very fun. Actually, I'll give you a quick tip with that as well. When you get insulation on you and it's all dirty and itchy, don't have a hot shower, have a cold shower. One of the other chippies told me about this, because they say if you have a hot shower, it's gonna open up all of your pores and get in your pores and itch even worse. That's totally true, so don't do that. Learn from my mistake, have a cold shower to get that stuff off of your skin. But anyway, we ended up getting the ceiling out, and then the next steps was actually getting all of the pipe work replaced behind the walls. Now for this one, I didn't want to do that because I'm not a plumber. There's certain things that I'll absolutely jump headfirst into, but there's certain things that I don't want to touch unless you really know what you're doing. The pipework behind the walls is one of those things in my opinion. Okay, so it's plumbing reno lesson time right now. So we've taken out the ceilings of the bathroom, taken out all of the walls as well, and also taken out all of the flooring. Now the floor needs to be screeded before we can get the tiles and everything back in. Now the bath needed to be put in before it could get screeded and before we could actually put the villa board on the walls. But what we found out today is that the bath was actually just sitting on nothing. The concrete slab actually finished. This should be a concrete slab that actually comes along here. So now we've got to fix a hole because it's actually quite a bit of a miracle that no one's actually fallen through that thing in the 40 years this house has been around, or however long it's been around. I think 1974 or something like that. So get a little bit of a setback with the timeline now, but I'll let you guys know how we fix it. After we were able to fix underneath the bathtub and actually give the bathtub something to sit on, the plumber could actually get in and do the rest of the work, which was fantastic. He did a great job with pretty much all of it. The biggest expense was actually probably one of the things that was from my own decision as well. Now, you might have done this differently if you were trying to keep things to a budget, but personally, I feel a wall-hung vanity actually just adds a real touch of class to a bathroom. So for a little bit extra cost, moving the drain from the floor up into the wall space was an extra expense, but it was an extra expense I was really happy to incur. So for all of those services, it's up for another $1,223. So the next step was actually putting the villa board on so we can have walls again. They're kind of something I've been used to, and I think probably most people like having walls in a bathroom. So that was another $227 to actually get the villa board, and me, my dad, and James actually put the villa board on the walls again. So this wasn't actually professionally done. This one was done by us. Afterwards, again, there was a few things that the guy that came in, actually Jason that came in to do all of the flushing work, gave me a few tips on a few bits and pieces that we did wrong. Whilst the job in its entirety was done right, it was more pointers for next time, basically making sure that it's done just a little bit cleaner. But $227, we're pretty happy with all that. Now that all the villa board was on the walls, this is when things really started to get exciting, because it meant that the tiler could actually come in. Now I actually got Will Darlington from Darlington Tiling, who I'm just fortunate enough has been one of my best friends since I was like 15 years old. He jumped in my combi van, didn't know who the guy was, and then just friends for life. Anyway, he came in to actually do the tiling for me. Now Bill's normally not a very cheap tiler because his work is amazing. Every single tradesperson that came in afterwards basically gave him such big ups for this tiling being done absolutely perfectly. So whilst he cost me $1,500 to get this tiling done, excluding the tiles, you could probably get someone to do it for that kind of price. You're not getting this kind of workmanship. This is probably more like a $2,500 job. So Bill, I absolutely owe you one. Thank you so much for that. And for everyone watching at home doing your numbers, your $1,500 is absolutely going to work for you. I just don't think they're going to do as good of a job as what Bill's done. But I'm also just a little bit biased because he's my mate and I just think he's the best tiler going around. But anyway, once Bill came in, he started screeding everything. Now, screeding the floors is so important. I've actually been in houses before where people have done the screeding themselves, turn the shower on, and the bloody water starts flowing out to the hallway. So whatever you do, if you're thinking, I'm gonna skip this step professionally and do it myself, no problem, you can do it yourself, but absolutely make sure that you do this yourself properly, because this can be an absolute disaster if you've got bathroom looking pretty, but water flowing out. It's not a good mix, it's not what you want. So once everything was measured out, Bill could actually do the screeding. But the really important thing on this one was that it was measured out correctly. And there was actually, well, I'm gonna say I dropped the ball on this one because at the end of the day, if you're chairing the project, if you're managing everything, it always comes back to you. So this is totally my fault however this worked. But the vanity that you can actually see, the wall hung vanity, I think was 45 deep. And then we had a little spot here where you could actually stand in or get into the shower. Now that spot shrank pretty much from this down to this. That was an issue because if you're gonna rent a place out, it's kind of nice that people can get in the shower. So I needed to solve that problem, but that wasn't anything to do with Bill. That was actually just something that he really brought to my attention, which I was so thankful for because it gave him more time to actually sort this one out, which we'll get to in a second of exactly how it was sorted out. So once all of the screeding was down, it was time to let it set and cure. Now from memory, we let it cure for around 4 or 5 days. Now Bill came back in about 5 days later. Quick as a flash, he pretty much had all the tiling done. So I don't actually have that many shots of him actually tiling this because he was rocking up, I think, at like 5 in the morning. I got here at something like 10 o'clock and it was like Went from nothing to all of a sudden like tiled bathroom, which amazing. So after Bill had tiled everything, it was really starting to look like a bathroom again. We had a bath down on our left hand. No. We actually had a bath, we had the shower, we had everything there. It was time to start putting in the fixtures and fittings. So, but first, before I could put in the fixtures and fittings, I needed to actually put in the vanity. This was a Mondella unit I actually got from Bunnings. Now, all up, if we're looking at taps, sinks, bench, basin, the whole lot, it was around $480. Now, taps are one thing that I always like to spend a little bit more on because it makes that bit of a statement. I always kind of compare it to if you're wearing a suit and you've just got these ugly trainers on, it doesn't quite work. But if you're all suited up, looking all spiffy, and you've got nice shoes, a tie clip, the pocket square, everything all sets itself off nicely. To me, a tap, I guess, is kind of like the shoes and pocket square and tie clip of a bathroom. I don't know if that analogy even works. I don't really wear ties anymore, but yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. Spend up on your tap because it will make a difference. So anyway, you're up to another $480 talking about the vanity getting on the wall. But this vanity was absolutely annoying. There are two little clips at the back of your vanity that you need to actually unscrew so you've got enough, what is that? So you've got like enough give so you can actually put on the wall. Trouble that I had is one of them unscrewed and one of them didn't. Now the thing that I was really surprised about is the guy at Bunnings actually just literally tore open the box on another one and said, here you go, unscrew this and have it. So anyway, I didn't think you're allowed to do that, but apparently you are, according to this guy at Bunnings, who will remain nameless, but thank you for the help. My brother and I, we tried everything we could to actually try and unscrew this, but it was just stuck. So thank you again, Nathan, for coming around and helping with this. Trying to get the angle grinder in there to actually grind down the bolt so we could actually put it so it was now a flat head instead of a Phillips head, but nothing was working. This thing was just stuck. But anyway, we ended up getting this vanity on the wall. Now things were really starting to come together. I couldn't actually decide on the top though, because something that I like to do for things like the shelving units you can just see over my shoulder, and also bench tops, is I like to actually use offcuts. So I had some offcuts from the kitchen. So I actually ended up posting on Facebook, just asking a question, which one did you like better, the light or the dark? People overwhelmingly chose the dark. Personally though, I actually liked the light. So as much as I was being an asshole, I don't know if you've ever heard that term. So as much as I was being an asshole and going against everything that was said in the comment section, which was something like 70 comments, so we had some reasonable engagement with that, I still feel that the lighter one worked better because it gave a contrast to the kitchen. Because if I tied in with the kitchen too much, I think it would have almost felt a little bit hotel-like where everything's too uniform. But having them tied together by actually having them both wood, I think was good, but then giving them some individuality within the colors of the wood, to me, worked a little bit better. And plus, I didn't actually show anyone the kitchen on the post that I made, so I think people were just choosing what they liked instead of looking at the bigger picture that they weren't privy to. Anyway, now next was getting the shower screen installed. Now this shower screen, this is actually just when coronavirus hit, okay? So it was a headache, and I don't know why it was still such a headache. It actually took them 4 times to come out. I'm not gonna say who the business was, because at the end of the day, I was still happy with their end result. And coronavirus just coming in and hitting is the thing that gives me the benefit of the doubt, or the thing that makes me want to give them the benefit of the doubt. People were pretty crazy in those first few weeks, okay? At the time of recording this right now, we're still going through it. It is, what is the date today? April the 13th. There, whoop, yeah, okay. So it's April the 13th now. We're still in the middle of this ridiculous pandemic, okay? So, but anyway, that aside, I'm gonna give these guys the benefit of the doubt. They came with a good price, made a few mistakes, but at the end of the day, they got there. That was another $740 to get this custom shower screen built. Now, the reason I got a custom shower screen and not an off-the-rack one was because of the gap that we had to make sure that was big enough to actually get in and keep this vanity here. Because we could have got a corner vanity, put it in the corner, that would have given us more than enough gap to actually have a door that opened up, that was on a hinge, or that was a swinging door. Corner vanities are ugly. If you can find a good looking corner vanity, please tell me, because everything that I found online was just hideous. This is a nice looking vanity, in my opinion, and beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but I think this is a beautiful vanity compared to all of the crap that I saw. So what that meant is that if we couldn't find something on a hinge for a shower screen to give enough clearance for people to be able to walk in, we needed to get a sliding shower screen. Now, a sliding shower screen is not really the same thing when you're talking about getting it off the rack. So getting it custom done was unfortunately my only option to get it done properly. So once the shower was then put in, all we were looking at is a few coats of paint on the walls and the ceiling. The Sparky came in, ended up putting in the down lights, like little heat lamps. You can see what's going on there? Yeah, they work really well. So thank you very much for that, Nandor. You've done an awesome job, mate. Put in the power points, everything that we needed. So we were wired, we were waterproofed, we were basically done. So having our paint on the walls was the next logical step. Ended up getting all the paint done. Then it was about getting it photographed. Now, even though I'm not selling this property, I wholeheartedly believe in staging and professional photography. It absolutely makes a difference. I can go into a whole nother video about that with like a detailed explanation, but for now, my concern was actually getting a photographer around here during this whole COVID-19 crisis, because everyone was rushing to get their properties to the market and getting them photographed. The photographers I'd normally use, I just couldn't physically get them here. I was lucky enough that the young lady that I've been dating for a while has been a wedding photographer for something like 10 years. So I told her I could pay her either money or dance lessons to come photograph my house. And she chose dance lessons. I really wish she chose money because I don't know how to dance. But I was really lucky that I had this incredible woman who's an incredible photographer doing an amazing job photographing this house. So here's a few of the photos. I'm going to show you a little bit more, not just the bathroom. Now, something that I always get told as well, whenever we've done a renovation for a client, or if we've done any kind of staging and we show before and afters, the most common thing that I hear is, yeah, but you've just showed me professional photography next to some happy snap on an iPhone. So here's an actual side-by-side, the exact same angle, before and afters, both professional photos. You can see right now that this is quite a drastic difference. And this is all for under $7,000. The ceiling being reinstalled and the flushing into this, our total for the bathroom makeover, our total for the bathroom renovation was $6,310. The reason I said at the start of the video that you could potentially do it for under $5 is because if we take off the asbestos, which let's face it, your house is probably not made of asbestos like mine bloody was, then you're looking at $4,810 to get all of this that you can see behind me. I mean, have a look. I'm sure I'm cutting to other shots right now. Right now I'm just waving my hand like this, but this is a fully fledged brand new bathroom. I just don't see why people want to go and spend $30,000 on a bathroom. It doesn't make sense. And yes, I did a lot of the work, but I didn't do all of it. I still got it professionally tiled. I still got the plumbers to come in and do the work. I even paid for the asbestos to be removed. There was lots of stuff that I actually had professional tradespeople to come in and do. The shower screen, that was all professionally installed. And we were still under it was actually $6,310 as a total, or under $5,000 if you don't have to remove asbestos from the walls. Now, one of the biggest things that I can tell you right now in controlling the budget, I'll just give you a few tips. The tile choices that you actually make. A big tip that Bill actually gave me was that not to choose big 600 by 300 tiles. They look beautiful, and I'm not saying don't use them, but I'm saying if you're trying to actually make this a concise budget, steer away from them. He said 300 by 300 or 300 by 200 because they're a pain in the backside to lay and they will cost you more to lay. Okay, again, I'm not saying don't use them, but I'm just saying keep that in mind when you're actually putting your budget together. Another one is the vanity. Vanities are something that it's so easy to run away. You could spend this entire budget just about on a vanity sometimes. I've seen people put in vanities in their bathrooms that are $2.5 grand, and that's not even going high end. I've seen people do that in just like modest end family areas. This thing here for like $480, again, personally, I think it looks lovely, but this is one of the things that I was doing to control the budget. Another thing is the bathtub. Bathtubs are something that people can spend heaps of money on. You can easily spend $1 grand on a bathtub and not even buying something high end. This was $150. It was the Estilo 1500 mil bath. The towel rail that I put on. The towel rail was $40. Now this is one thing that I have actually learned as well. Towel rails are something that you can get cheaper. Also, you can spend heaps more money on it. There's a real fine line with a lot of these things, and this is what I really want to communicate. It's not about just cheaping out and buying the cheapest piece of crap, because no one wants that. Your end result will look crap. It's a real sort of delicate balance. So like these towel rails, whilst there was ones there for like $8 and $12, these were $40, okay? So $40 for me was still a good, yeah, this thing is solid. Well, it was still a good buy, but it still actually made the bathroom look nice and it had quality about it. Whereas you can actually spend hundreds of dollars just on a towel rail. It's just, to me, it's dumb. You shouldn't be spending that if you're doing it for profit. If you're doing it for yourself, do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you happy. You spend $100,000 on your bathroom if it's for your house and it's what you want to live in. But if you're doing it for profit, don't let your emotions start running away with it, because you can quite easily just end up throwing away all of the profit that you were supposed to make on your project. So all in all, what I want to communicate in this video is doing a whole bathroom is totally doable on a budget, and you can still make it look really good without compromising on the quality. The biggest thing that you need to do is have a clear vision of exactly what you're trying to achieve, but also mix that together with some very strong diligence on your budget. Okay, don't let your emotions start making the decisions. Make sure you keep making your logical decisions and follow the plan you put in place. And if you're looking at doing anything like this and you found this helpful, make sure hit that like button, subscribe if you want any other kind of real estate notifications. Jack and I are always making new videos, whether it's renovating, interviewing pros, or just anything real estate related. We absolutely live it, breathe it, and love it. So you guys keep doing what you do best and have an amazing week.